Hello people watching this video, and today I have something new for you. I have a gaming review score credit game review video review, where today I'm wanting to review Big City Stories. I will be reviewing it on graphics, gameplay, originality, which is a good thing to review a game on, and on how fun it is. I'm gonna start with the graphics, and even though it looks like I'm playing something that's meant to be played on a iPhone or a tablet, this is actually on the PS4. So I'm just gonna give you a minute to let that sink in. That this game is, the graphics are on a PS4, even though they should be on an iPhone. That terrible. Look at that. It doesn't even look like I crashed in anything. It looks like it just smeared a picture drawn in Microsoft Paint. Anyways, that's not the big focus in here. So that's graphics out the way. Now on to gameplay. This game is actually a cross between something sort of resembling maybe GTA and maybe The Sims City Builder somewhat. I did some research actually, and I couldn't find any other games that switch back and forth between this top-down city building view and then the ground view of you walking around and doing things. The gameplay basically consists of you're a mayor of a town, and you have to level up that town and build things, and you could build things on your own, or you could do the missions, and the missions tell you to do things. You could enter a mission by simply walking up to anyone with a exclamation mark over their head and talking to them, which involves a lot of reading, which is something I don't necessarily want to do when I am playing a game. And now that it has given me a mission, I have to go into here and do what it tells me to do. So I'm just going to do that. I've played this game. I am on the level 3, and I am still in the tutorial of things. The tutorial for this game is very long. The tutorial, which is not a good thing in games. One other thing you could do is you can drive cars, but the controls for that are just terrible, and they're all real obvious bootleg versions of real cars, which that I can understand because it's not cheap to buy the license to put real cars in games, but they could have done a little bit better than what they did. If you think you're gonna get into the game just to drive around and crash into things and that kind of stuff, good luck with that, because what you see right here is basically all you get when it comes to that. The ground controls are very similar to Assassin's Creed in some way, but very basic and hard to control. It is very hard to do any kind of complex maneuvers or anything due to the controls, and you could basically just run, jump, and that's pretty much it, besides look around, because the controls are so terrible for this game. The building controls, on the other hand, are quite simple. I don't know how you could get difficult with controls for a face-down building city simulator construction game like this. But the gameplay is very basic. There are some challenges that you could do, or activities, but as you can see, in order to do that, it requires minimum of 15 roads, and you have to complete certain missions to unlock those. And as far as I know, that is the only way to really get coins in the game, because you have to have workers to build things, and the game is fun to build things in until you run out of workers. Then you have to wait hours. And see, that's another thing. Cops drive normal cars, and normal people drive the cop cars. They can't tell the difference between cop cars and normal cars, apparently, the people who made this game. But anyways, what was I saying now? I completely forgot. I hate it when that happens. Something about how long. Oh yeah. It's fun to play this game. As you can see, it's full of bugs and glitches. For a minute until you run out of workers. Then there's really nothing to do. There is a online multiplayer part of this game, which is free to play. But it basically consists of just, there's no missions you could do in the multiplayer. If you join a map or a server, you can't build things. You could basically just run in circles. So you can wave. The character is customizable, as you could probably tell just by the way I made my character look, which is the one fun thing about the game, is that you can make the characters look ridiculous and apparently float off the ground, because this dude is not touching the ground, he's levitating right now. Full of bugs and glitches. That's pretty much all there is to the gameplay. It's fun for a few minutes, but then it gets very repetitive and very old. As far as originality goes, that you could tell they took a little bit of inspiration from GTA. You could tell they took a lot of inspiration from the Sim City building, and I keep on, see, that's how bad the controls are. I keep on pressing the wrong button to do the wrong thing. Every time I try to bring up this thing where you build things, I enter the chat to chat with people, but I'm the only one here even. Yeah. That is pretty much all that there is to the originality. I haven't seen or heard of any other games that you could both build these and then go on the ground. And to this degree, I know The Sims, you kind of had to build cities and you could wander around too, but this is sort of a step up, a level up from that. This would be a good game if the gameplay was not so repetitive and boring and bland. Maybe if it had a little more spice to it, the gameplay would be a lot better. Car customization would be they do have a garage, but all it does is fix the car. You can't really customize it. That would be and a way to save the cars too, because that would make the game a lot better. Better graphics would make the game better. I do think this game has potential to be a good game, but sadly it lost all of that potential with the gameplay. The graphics aren't really as big of a deal as the terrible gameplay, but the terrible gameplay just ruins the game. I would give this game an overall 1 out of 10 because of the gameplay. That is going to do it for this episode of Game Reviews. Tune in next week when I review Don't Bite Me Bro, a top-down zombie survival game.